Alright, so obviously with the recent announcement of the Nick All-Star Brawl game, I'm featuring a lot more content and varied content on my channel that has to do with cartoons, specifically with Nickelodeon. And first character, or one of the first characters we're going to use in versus battle since this was announced, of course, is my boy Danny Phantom from the show Danny Phantom. Of course, being a ghost type character, we got to find someone thematically from comics that kind of makes sense. And first one that came to mind for me and members was Deadman from DC Comics Boston brand. So if these two ghost-like characters were to clash, who would come out on top? So far, cartoon characters of late on the channel have had really good success, and it's interesting to see if Danny Phantom can keep the win rate up. Now, this will be considering Danny Phantom from the shows and what he accomplished versus New 52 Boston brand, the version I'm most familiar with since my Constantine research. If you like content like this, please hit the like button, subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you never miss a video. Also, if you like content like this, check out the video description for the coffee shop members. They are other content creators that make similar content, and I have features coming out on their channels as well. Definitely want you to check them out. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started on the video. Danny will go first, then I'll break down Deadman, and we'll decide who will win. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's begin. Now, Danny Fenton was a normal teenage boy who happened to have an abnormal family in the form of his parents messing with the paranormal. Walking in on an experiment one night, Danny was subjected to some of the tech they had, which caused him to obtain a ghost form. From that point on, Danny Phantom lived a double life as Danny Phantom, using this ghost ability to help fight against the paranormal in a war against humanity. So, what has Danny, upon achieving this form, what did he accomplish in the show? Well, Danny in his phantom form was capable of blitzing a skyscraper-sized meat monster. The collision itself destroyed the monster, and in the show, it was seen from blocks away on the collision. Danny came out 100% healthy and fine from this. Danny can bolo another massive dragon with an uppercut and a dropkick and send it flying. Given their size difference, the dragon has to be multiple tons as it took up most of a football field. When one of his rogues, Technus, donned his massive skyscraper-sized armor, Danny was capable of one-shotting with a strike, showing his AP is consistently very high. Danny was capable of throwing the dragon he tangled with earlier, who took up a large portion of a football field so far that he disappeared beyond the horizon in the picture. Danny also sprung up in a fight against Fright Knight himself and caught his downward slash barehanded, despite the major size difference in the battle between ghosts. Danny can blitz a spirit so fast that he casually entangled it on a pole. Now this is impressive because spirits are shown using powers like lightning and light-based attacks, and casually this being couldn't keep up with Danny. He was so fast that Tucker Phantom actually straight up couldn't follow him in pursuit. When pursuing, we see him literally from the perspective of Tucker disappear from the sight of Tucker himself. He has shown he can react in battle defensively by completely turning intangible upon a physical strike. He has also been able to react to ghost-like energy blasts in episode 19 of season 1. The blast does appear to look like lightning, and all accounts does seem to be, if not lightning, light-based at worst case, and a lot of the attacks in the show, like I said, are based around these aspects, so it makes sense that lightning to FTL Plus is casual for Danny. Ghost vultures are incapable of blitzing Danny, despite the fact that they are so fast they are leaving after images in pursuit. Danny does brawl on a physical level, but it seems more that people, before I did, my research, seemed he was an intangible guy, really just slick, but nah, he does have some physical damage to him. Evidence is that he tanked a dog pile against ghosts that cratered the entire area and was completely fine. Danny can also take hits from a dragon who was decimating buildings casually. A full strike to the face with a spiked mace did 0 damage to Danny and didn't even break his skin. He's tanked a hit from the meat monster I mentioned earlier, and it was so strong it launched him beyond an airplane, and that was flying, and it did no damage to him. Danny is able to somewhat shrug off injuries sustained in battle due to his spirit nature. This is shown when he's able to recover after being slashed. Vortex, another one of his rogues, uses lightning abilities, and Danny was easily faster, reacting point blank and conjuring a shield to block it. Danny showed he was a talented brawler when he was able to laugh and brawl with prison guards, casually, including spiritual prison guards. His powers allow a form of telekinesis to move objects. Now, to be fair, he hasn't shown like a crazy telekinetic feat, but he does have basic telekinesis to manipulate the battlefield. He can use a Kamehameha type ghost energy technique to blast massive beings away and blast holes through them straight up. He can use Ray Blast to incapacitate or create separation between opponents. His Ray Blast is so strong that while destroying a ghost, he's brawling with the rest of the blast, and it goes by and destroys the tower behind them as well. So literally, it one-shot the ghost, erased him, but destroyed the tower behind him too, casually. He has shown he can fire his ghost rays in rapid fire succession, taking out multiple enemies at once. Danny can also use a pulse technique to get you off of him if you grapple him, allowing him to attack you even when not looking at you. As a massive scorpion pursued him, Danny got mad, flew up, and blasted the scorpion. This beast got one-shotted by the blast and was completely torn apart. Danny is known to randomly use precise blasts to disarm foes. Danny has also shown he can incorporate heat properties into his beams to devastate his opponents. While Danny usually uses shields against energy-based attacks, he has shown he can use them to propel physical attacks as well. Danny has shown that when entangled, like Jada Smith, bars, he can burn his way out of it almost instantly and get away. Danny has shown that on the spot he can turn invisible 0 issues. Danny's ghostly whale attack, which I would consider his strongest attack, is incredibly formidable. He once showed he could BFR an entire army of ghosts with this attack alone. Danny can also summon and manipulate a large amount of ice or cryokinesis to devastating effect. It was shown in one battle that he can freeze dozens of buildings at a time mid-fight. Danny has demonstrated he has control over his molecular structure and can use it to escape attacks and attackers, becoming things like mist to get away. Danny also, of course, as a ghost, has the ability to possess you and use you in combat. And by Season 3, Danny showcased and proved that he could make duplicates/clones in combat in order to help him. So, we got Danny Phantom out of the way. It took a little longer to cover him because he's not as frequent on the channel compared to comic characters. But let's talk about his foe on the other side. Boston Brand, aka Deadman. Deadman was a celebrated acrobat who, upon death, was given a second chance from a blessing from an Egyptian god. And upon that, came back in the form of a spirit going by the name of Deadman and helping to stop people before they really mess up and take major L's and end up in hell. And his role allows him to visit several of the afterlife type places in DC Comics. So what can Deadman do as a combatant? Well, in the New 52 in particular, we have seen for speed, according to Constantine and Observation, Boston Brand, aka Deadman, can casually traverse the multiverse if he has to with his own power and speed alone. He was able to briefly possess the Green, and this is what he's mostly known for, possessing characters. The Green is connected through all of the green life or plant life throughout creation, most famously associated with the powerhouse known as Swamp Thing. He also was able to possess an Elder God. This Elder God, I believe, went by the name of Pantheon, and he sent his being thousands of pieces throughout creation. So in character, Deadman is known to try to possess you and blow apart your essence. He is also, several times throughout the comics, shown to be a highly skilled acrobatic combatant. He specializes in body hopping mid-fights, using characters to destroy his foes, which usually end up their teammates, causing great confusion on the field when he's fighting. He's also, in comparison to the rest of the Justice League Dark, which features in New 52 characters like Frankenstein, Constantine, Zatanna, all these characters, even still, we know for a fact Deadman's considered one of the most valued fighters in Justice League Dark, which is very impressive. He can split himself, similar to how I described Danny Phantom, in order to possess multiple beings in battle and to inflict damage with multiple clones. He can also take blasts and energy blasts from Pantheon and be fine, and he's also shown he can regen from energies to his spiritual form. He is also explained in New 52 to be purely spiritual, and his physical body is merely a mental projection of what he believes he should look like. Finally, he managed to brawl with the Toll Keeper of Hell, who stops souls before they get into Hell, and he's casually seen living in Limbo and going around in Limbo in DC Comics, with Limbo being capable of overwhelming stories and characters themselves. So, that's obviously a Highland. I just think it's interesting that he's always associated with lands like that. But if these two characters, these two ghost-like beings, were to clash in combat, who would win? Unfortunately for cartoons and Nickelodeon, Danny Phantom takes a fat L today. This ended up a pretty significant mismatch in terms of hacks. Danny Phantom physically is pretty impressive, a little more impressive than I anticipated. And with physical strikes, I do think he could probably brawl with Deadman, because Deadman's not really a physical brawler. However, when Deadman decides to use energy blast or to use his body, he's massively beyond anything Danny Phantom has shown in terms of possession hacks. He would overwhelm with hacks anything Danny has to offer defensively. Steal his body, steal his spirit form or his human form, doesn't matter. Could take both and destroy him from the inside and destroy his essence. In the end, I believe because of his hacks and what he scales to, Deadman takes the victory in this battle of the ghosts. But what do you guys think? Comment down below if you have a different opinion, or if you want to see a cartoon matchup with another comic book character. Any cartoons, it doesn't really matter. I'm really getting variables in here, like the regular show, Adventure Time, that kind of stuff will probably appear soon. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been your boy, YFE, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.